Hi, submarine friends. Well, today is a day of problem solving. I'm a little under the weather today. I've been working 7 days a week on this, and so I deserve a little break. So, anyways, because I'm under the weather, I'm not going to build anything today. I'm just going to solve a problem, or rather, come up with a solution. It's only a problem if there's no solution. So, somebody posted a question a while back on my YouTube, and the question was, how do I know if the exhaust ball valve is leaking or not when I'm submerged? That is a fantastic question, and it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind since I built the submarine and even back in the original designing of the submarine. So it's something that I really want to know. I want to know if this valve is leaking because that is a very critical thing. So my first thought was some kind of an electronic device that senses moisture in the exhaust. Well, that's probably very doable. The problem is I don't like anything electronic, so scratch that off the list. So then my next thought was, well, I used to be a steam engine guy, and I have a steam boiler and steam engines, and I was pretty involved in it and actually built my own steam boiler. And what steam guys do is they put spark plugs in the boiler, and the idea is when the water level comes up above the spark plug, it creates a circuit. And that actually works. But what I don't like about that is if I put a spark plug in the exhaust stream, it's just going to get all fouled up like crazy. I mean, there's so much soot in the diesel exhaust. So scratch that off the list. So then I thought, well, I need some kind of a glass bowl indicator. So I'm scratching my head. Well, what am I going to use? So I wander around my shop here this morning, actually, and I come across the old light fixture for a submarine. So it can handle a ton of pressure. It's all stainless steel and glass. So those two things are pretty compatible. But I don't know if I want to waste this light. I mean, I bought it 10 years ago or more, and I still haven't used it. I've actually got two of these. And it's funny, I didn't know I had the second one of these until I went into the other shop and found a second one. So to get ideas, what I do is I just wander around my shops, my property. Sometimes I even go to the dump and walk through all the metal pile stuff. And what it does is it gives me ideas. I also go on Facebook Marketplace. I know it sounds bizarre, but I go on Marketplace and I just click through machinery, different equipment, pumps, motors, you name it, and it gives me ideas. It just makes my brain click on an idea. So anyways, I'm searching through my shop today, and I come across that, which is an option. But the problem is, if you mount this at the lowest point of the exhaust system down here, the only way water is going to come into this is if air can get out of it. So if you just put this down low and you have a pipe going into this, you got to make sure that the water actually will come into it. And the way to do that is to make sure that it's vented for air to get out of it. So, like I said, I'm wandering around my shop and I come across, ta-da, isn't that nice? This is back from my steam boiler days, and I built a steam-driven side wheeler paddle boat, 36 feet long, period correct. So if you go on my Facebook page and look through pictures, you'll find this paddle wheeler boat. Beautiful boat. Took me 2 years to build in my driveway. Anyways, it had a steam boiler that I built and a vertical steam engine that drove a hydraulic pump. Now I actually never set sail with it as a steam-powered paddle wheeler boat because I'm only allowed so many cubic feet of surface area in a steam boiler to be legal as a home-built boiler, non-certified home-built boiler. So I got kind of worried that, if there's ever a problem, I mean, I hydro test it and I do everything I'm supposed to do. It was a 69 tube vertical boiler, and I still have it. But the problem is I don't want to risk other people's safety by, being out there some reckless maniac steam boiler guy, which I'm not, but, if it's uncertified, you automatically fall into that category. So this was mounted on the wall of the boat because I couldn't see the boiler from the pilot seat. So I had this. So I thought, hey, this will work perfect in here, because if we take the level, this level right here, and we run it along the floor, and the bottom of the exhaust system, so I just threw the exhaust system in and put it up with some vice grips to hold it. So the bottom of the exhaust system is 2 inches above my floor in the submarine. And yes, I did a big cleanup in here, and it's nice and tidy in here now. But anyways, so the lowest point of the exhaust system is 2 inches above my floor. So that means I can simply take this sight glass, that's what this is called, a steam boiler sight glass, and I can mount it right here, boop, just like so. Okay? So now, if water enters into the exhaust system at the lowest point, I'm going to just run a line from the lowest point right tight to the bottom of the water-cooled section, and it'll come out right here. And what I should do actually is I should lower this down so that if water comes in, I'll see it at like this height. I don't want it to come in and it's really close to the bottom of this valve because I won't see it. Like ideally you would want the sight glass to be, the water level to be here, so water comes in and you would see it right here right away. So I think that's a fantastic solution. So I just mount that guy right there. I can leave the bottom valve open all the time. Remember, we're not working with pressure here. We're working with heat. So my concern is whatever I do could have some heat. So this can handle lots of heat. I mean, I was running this at 400 degrees. So we run a line. It can be copper line, but I'm going to just start with a hydraulic hose. I love hydraulic hose because hydraulic hose can take quite a bit of heat too, and I don't think it gets that hot right here. So I'm just going to weld in a fitting here, a real flush type fitting, 1/4 inch pipe thread, and then I'll just put a hydraulic line. I'll go with like a 3/8 line just so that I know it can flow some water. And it'll come to here. I could also do a copper line. I have some copper line here. I should do copper line. Yeah, okay. So let's do copper line. So we'll do copper line from here to here, mount it to here, and then I can leave this valve open, but I have the option of closing it, of course. But this is the valve that I will open and close. So I will keep this valve closed when I'm using the submarine. At all times it'll be closed. That'll be the default position, closed. And that's so that exhaust doesn't come out the top of that. But when I shut off the engine and I'm going to do a dive, so I close my valves up here, right? Well, I close this valve, I make sure this valve is closed, and then I open this valve. Okay? Now, air can escape. So that means that any water that enters this system, it's going to go to the lowest point immediately, and you can see it's obviously very downhill, and then it'll flow back to this, and the water will indicate right there. So as long as I keep an eye on it, and I mean, my pilot seat's right there. It's nothing to look back down at this, and I can see water in there. So I wonder if I'm just thinking out loud now, if I put colored water in this, if I had colored water in the system, I'm just thinking as I'm speaking here, if there was colored water in the system and it didn't boil off, that would be my problem. Then when there's an increase in fluid, it's going to rise. So, let's say that this is the level. Let me move that. If this is the level and it's, say, blue water, then, I can just see, okay, it's at the level, everything's fine. But if all of a sudden the blue water comes up to here, I know I have a problem. And being blue water, it would really show up compared to white or clear water. Or I could put some, maybe a dark, that's what I could do. I could take a piece of black PVC pipe, split it, and put it behind here so that the water level would really show up. I'll have to think about that. Or maybe you guys have an idea. But I need a way to make sure that I really see I know what I can put in there. I can put in a little red ball. I think that's what you do. Yeah, I know I have that in my hydraulics on one of my machines. There's a red ball that floats. That's what I'll do. So when the red ball comes up, then you can really see it. There we go. Anyways, that's how you get ideas. You have to have bad ideas to come up with a good idea. So comments are bad, but you know what I mean. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mount this right here. When I dive, I will open this so the air can escape. I don't think much exhaust stink is going to make it all the way to that. So I think that's the perfect solution. So what's nice about this solution is it's all mechanical, nothing electronic, don't have to wire it. Wiring and electronics are my weakness. So we avoid my weakness. Oh, I'm glad I did this today. I'm glad I wandered out to the shop and found this. It pays to keep crap hanging around. You got to have the space, which I do. So that's it. That's what I'm going to do. Ciao.